Hey, happy Monday, everybody. Mark again here, Weatherman Plus. Now, we still have a lot of heat for today, for tomorrow, maybe even the day after. But after that, the heat wave is going to be on the move, and it's pretty much going to be set for another week or two. Now, we also have chances for severe storms for today, chances for damaging winds, hail, and tornadoes. And this also goes into tomorrow. Remember, this is going to be overnight into the early morning and going to tomorrow afternoon as well. So I'm going to show you the latest information on that. Also, if you've never been here before, make sure you subscribe. I am all year long on my weather forecasting. Matter of fact, I'm still showing over a week ago now that the tropics are still going to be closed. We might look for a front-induced low right off the east coast, might go towards the southeast a little bit that we need to watch later down the road, but no immediate dangers. There's a lot of dust and there's nothing going on in the Caribbean, in the tropics, for at least the next 10 days. Now I'll come back and zoom in so we can see where the storms are hitting at, where they may form up for today, so you can be a little bit more prepared for what's going on. Remember, all the timestamps are in the description below. Thank you to everyone that helps share my information. Thank you to everyone that likes my videos to help get the word out so people can be alert to everything going on. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Now for today, you have a lot of heat rolling through the central plains. You have them for over 100 degrees going all the way through Kansas, through Nebraska, through Missouri. But across the southwest, remember, you still have your monsoon. Be careful of the flooding. But you get over 100 to 110 degree temperatures rolling through, while you're still getting 90s across the south, the southeast, and mid-Atlantic, and some hundreds as well. But when you heat indices, it is going to feel like over 100, over 105 for a lot of people, and it's spiking all the way up north to southern Minnesota as well, all the way across the southwest and the southeast. Now for tomorrow, you got all those 100-degree temperatures once again, and it's moving more towards the southeast. Matter of fact, our next outlook is going to start bringing it over to southeast and the mid-Atlantic for the next week to 10 days. And you have a lot of strong heat across the southwest for tomorrow as well. And your heat indices are going to be very powerful for tomorrow. All the way up towards Iowa, northern Illinois, you're going to feel like over 100 degrees. All the way towards the Carolinas, all the way towards California and Arizona. But there is relief coming. Remember, this link is in the description below. That way you can go click on it, see what your temperatures are. It shows you your weather as well. So you can see what your temperatures are as it moves through. And you can see right there over 102 degrees. And that is literally taken in the shade. It's not even your heat indices. For tomorrow, this is going to grow and stay around central plains in the southeast. The extreme is the purple. Once you get to Wednesday, we can start getting this cool front coming through. Remember, we have a northern jet stream with these storms coming through the Great Lakes to upper Midwest. Also going to bring cool fronts with them. And you see that your temperatures are going to start miling down as you go Wednesday, Thursday, and once you go Friday and Saturday, then you're going to start going to this new pattern across the south, the southeast, and the mid-Atlantic, where your heat's going to start building over there as well. So for today, you can see your slight risk has grown some, but your tornadoes has not grown too much at all. You do have a 2% chance. I think this could be heightened just a little bit more on the southern side of this. So far, here's your cities and states at risk for the tornadoes for today, potentially. And your wind threat for today, you can see it has grown as well. You even have chances for hurricane force winds in that black section. That's at least 74 miles per hour winds. And you have a 5% right along the east coast. So far, here's your cities and states at risk for these high winds for today. You also have the hail threat and still showing significant severe, a lot of large hail in this black section. And I believe this is going to stretch even further for tomorrow also. So far, here's your cities and states at risk for the hail threat for today. Now, National Weather Service has scattered severe thunderstorms will be possible over parts of the upper Midwest this afternoon and continuing overnight. A cluster of severe storms potentially capable of producing destructive wind gusts may develop over parts of Minnesota into Wisconsin, though there remains significant uncertainty. And you still see your tornado threat with National Weather Service right here for today, but you can see with Colorado State University, they're still showing that upscale in chances for tornadoes for today. And you can see right here your significant tornado perimeters that it shows your best chance to get a tornado is going to be in these cells that spark up on the southern side of that storm system as that moves through for today. So you do need to watch out for chances for tornadoes as that moves through all evening long, as it goes all night across the UP of Michigan, northern Wisconsin, all the way to early morning hours going across the lakes as well as northern Michigan. And then for tomorrow, starts sparking up again. So I will go through this a little zoomed in view so you can see. But if you see for tomorrow that potentially bowing out feature becomes maybe some straight line winds, but not as strong as what we've been seeing. And then for tomorrow evening, you get some more storms building up, not only for Kansas, showing some strong winds, Also over here for Iowa, northern Illinois, maybe a little bit of southern Wisconsin as that brews up for tomorrow evening. Showing that it will start bringing that 40, that 50 miles per hour wind gusts, even some 60 as it goes across Wyoming, comes across South Dakota, all the way from northern Minnesota to southern Minnesota, and as it goes overnight into Wisconsin, bringing that 40 and 50 miles per hour wind gusts, maybe even some 60s in there, as that goes all the way to the early morning hours right into western Michigan as well. Then for tomorrow, those storms spark right back up for Illinois, for Nebraska, for Kansas, going towards Oklahoma, and showing a lot of high winds, 50 and 60 miles per hour wind gusts, all the way across Indiana, northern and southern also. But look over here as you go for Nebraska, Kansas, and Oklahoma, bringing 50, 60, maybe even 70 plus miles per hour wind gusts with those also. Showing maybe even potentially going all the way towards Ohio and maybe even into Kentucky with those storms as we get them for tomorrow and all the way into Wednesday morning. Showing that those storms moving through this afternoon will bring some hail threats across northern and southern Minnesota, but stronger across northern Wisconsin going towards western Michigan. Then as you go into Tuesday, it starts sparking up again for eastern Nebraska, going to Iowa and some of Illinois, chances for hail. So for tomorrow, you do have that marginal and that slight risk. Remember, this is overnight storms. You do have that 2% chance for tornadoes as that leads across. So far, here's your cities and states at risk for the tornado threat for tomorrow, for Tuesday. Also, you have the wind threat in the same area and the hail threat in the same area. The hail threat is not going all the way into Indiana and Michigan, but that could update. So far, here's your cities and states at risk for the damage and winds for Tuesday. And so far, here's your cities and states at risk for the hail threat for Tuesday. And then for Wednesday, as we get that cool front coming through, it is bringing chances for severe weather. You have 5% and a 15%. So far, here's your cities and states at risk for the severe weather for Wednesday. And you can see here from the Euro Ensemble, as you go through, you do get that cool front that passes through, goes all the way through to the off the coast. And you might even get a front-induced system that spins up and maybe comes back. See how this rotates all the way back towards the Gulf. Maybe get a front-induced system revolving around the upper level high and swinging this around, not showing any strong formation or anything, but this is what the GOES satellite has been seen might form into a tropical depression, a tropical storm strength in the Atlantic, but it won't be tropical in nature because it'll be front-induced. But at the same time, you can see that your upper level high is going to start ridging over the southeast and the mid-Atlantic, and it's going to stay there for quite some time as we go into July. And that is going to keep your heat there. Now, if you keep watching as we go past the first week of July, then your upper level high, your upper level ridge is going to start moving right back towards the southwest, and then you're going to get these cool fronts coming through. Now, when a cool front comes through, this could help spark up some of these weak tropical waves because of the dust. It could help get a low forming, could help get something induced. I will keep you updated. So far, I'm not showing any major threats coming our way. We're still going to be on that break in the tropics, but we do need to watch out for a possible front-induced system. But you can see the pattern we're going into. We have a strong jet stream on the northern side, still bringing these storms across the Great Lakes. We're getting fronts across the northeast, still bringing you cool downs, so you won't stay super hot over there. But at the same time, you have that heat ridge building, so you will be hot across the south and the southeast. You can see here when you look at your tropopause way up in the atmosphere, your jet stream level, that you have cooler temperatures coming through with these cold fronts. But as you go past Wednesday, then you start getting that big ball of heat starts rolling across the central plains from northern to southern, but you still have these cool fronts coming across this northern jet stream. You see this as we go through the coming weeks, but all that heat will revolve around the whole time, bringing in warm temperatures again, and you see potentially get that front-induced low swinging around that upper level high. But this is going to bring some big impacts. So from the 29th of June all the way to the 5th of July, you have a slight risk for heavy precipitation in this green for the north central, the upper Midwest. Also over here for the southwest for your monsoon season all the way to the 5th, you still have a lot of heavy precipitation coming your way. And you can see here from this graphic that they are expecting flooding to persist over here for southwestern New Mexico to southeastern Arizona. Also for Iowa, eastern South Dakota, Minnesota, and western Wisconsin, they're expecting more flooding to happen. But as you go all the way to the 5th, Now you see your drought is persistent all the way in Oklahoma now. That's new. Also for the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes. Now it's transitioned into southern Illinois as well, maybe a little bit of northern Kentucky. And the drought is going to remain and be strong along the Mid-Atlantic all the way down towards the Carolinas and northern Georgia. That has grown. But don't forget the excessive heat, because the strongest heat, we have a lot of heat moving through, but the strongest areas of the heat, your moderate section, is going to be from the 30th through the 1st for these two areas. Very strong temperatures coming. But you can also see from this graph that a lot of people are still going to be in that slight risk for all this heat. So in my experience, when you're in this slight risk, that means your 90s are still going to keep rolling through. You might even still reach hundreds on heat indices. But over here on this moderate level risk, you will reach 100 degrees expected on your temperatures so far. Also for the western side of the lower 48, chances for 90s to persist through. You can see this from National Weather Service. Next 6 to 10 day temperature probability. You're going to be average in a white, but below average in all this blue because all these storm systems coming in, bringing these cool fronts. But look, you're going to be well above average in your temperatures from the south to southeast, all the way to the Mid-Atlantic, all the way to the 3rd of July. And it's going to persist even longer as it stretches a little bit further to the west, all the way to the 7th of July. You're going to stay in this heat bubble for the next couple of weeks. And you can see your latest tropical update, just like I've been talking about a long time ago. There's nothing forming in the next 7 days. Only thing we got to look out for is maybe a front-induced low might come off that cold front off the East Coast. That is it. I'll keep you updated on that. Nothing else is doing anything. And you can also see any of those waves do try and form up. It will be southern and western, just like I showed you in my last videos. Maybe something forming up over here by Central America. This is going into the eastern Pacific, maybe the southern half of Bay of Campeche, going into the eastern Pacific also, and maybe that front-induced low pushing off into the Atlantic. That's it. Matter of fact, you can see the update with National Hurricane Center in 72 hours. Those waves are going to be pushing this direction. You can see you have a big high pressure expanding all the way out, and that pushes everything further to the west. You also see these tropical waves that's moving along. These are going to fall along the same pattern. Now, this last one might be one that turns northern into the Atlantic because the high pressure is going to move further towards the Azores high rather than a Bermuda high. And that would give it a little more space for all this to travel in this direction. No threat so far for the United States of America. No threat towards the Caribbean because we still have all this dust still persisting through. But if you take a look at what GOES satellite is showing, it's still showing we might get that front-induced low over here and might form up. Remember, we got that high pressure, so it's still going to be blocking it. Might become a tropical depression, a tropical storm, then weaken back off. No threat towards landfall for anybody. Might need to check for Bermuda. But you have all this persistent through. Look at that wave getting pushed further to the south from all this dust. Still going all the way through. This dust is going all the way into Mexico, all the way into Texas by the time we get to the 2nd of July. And more dust pushing off the coast of Africa. And look how quickly that wave that tries to form right here, look how quickly that gets swallowed up. Not showing any pressure system coming with that. Just a tropical wave. Give this big high pressure expanding out. But showing that that front-induced low could still form into a tropical storm, potentially. That's off into the Atlantic. We need to watch for Bermuda, potentially. And then weaken right back down, getting squeezed by the high pressure. Just nothing, no impacts. Just nothing happening, but these storms still coming through that northern tier of the lower 48 and a quiet Caribbean, a quiet tropical Atlantic. So you can see this when you look at potential velocity anomaly. You have favorable environment all the way until the 25th of June. Not too much longer as that wave moves into the eastern Pacific. After that, unfavorable environment moving in. It's going to stay there and maybe turn into an area where it's just a neutral phase. Once we go to July 20th, maybe a neutral phase where it's not favorable, but it's not unfavorable neither. What people need to remember is even though we're expecting an above average hurricane season with a La Nina kicking in, some strong winds coming from the east to the west, at the same time, this wind is blowing all the Saharan dust right into the Caribbean. So nothing can form up when that happens, and we might stay in that phase for quite some time. Just a neutral phase. Latest update is still confirming that. Anything comes through, it will be very weak in our area All this is going to move into the Eastern Pacific. All this potentially that forms up into the Eastern Pacific. All I'm showing is that we have multiple weak waves moving through, getting choked by some dust, maybe one later in July, showing that our region is clear. Still showing maybe something forming up as we go towards the end of July. So I know there's some people that have been commenting saying, oh, how can you say the tropics is closed? That's pretty bold. This is going to be above average hurricane season. Don't matter what people say, I go by data, and the data has been showing me this for a long time that we're going on this break. Believe it, it's happening. This is not going to change tomorrow and all this look like this over here. It don't work like that. So I know probably potentially someone has told you this that you've been watching. Watch their next video. There's no way they can keep this charade going. This is closing down. You're going to start hearing this everywhere. But it is okay. I literally am used to that. People say a lot of bad things about me and they never come back when it shows it being right. So it's okay. I'm used to it. Trust me, I'm on the tropics very hard every single year, and there's nothing to threaten you right now for a while. Now, those storms that we saw, your best chance for some kind of formation, not even showing any hail cores in these, even though you got some moving across Wisconsin all through the evening. Remember, this is Central Time up here. These cells are the most strongest area chances to get a potential tornado according to significant tornado perimeters. Now, we do have some warm temperatures aloft, and it's going to be a very small area. A lot of this is going to be right in a little capped area. Well, no storms will form right there. But at the same time, it might hit these a little bit also. That's why you don't see a lot of activity on those cells. That is your best chance to get those tornadoes. But later in the night, as you go overnight into the early morning, showing a lot of chances for strong storms to form up with hail for northern Wisconsin going into the UP of Michigan all the way till early in the morning, all the way across Green Bay. Then it goes into western Michigan for tomorrow morning. As you wake up in the morning, going all the way in the morning. Then it grows again. The daytime heating really sparks these storms right back up for tomorrow morning. It's going all the way from some of Iowa, but all across Illinois, and showing it will go towards Chicago as well, bringing these strong storms. Look how it sparks up for 10 o'clock in the morning, all the way from Detroit across Chicago, going towards northern Missouri as well. And it's going from northern Ohio, northern Indiana, as you go to tomorrow morning. Then it goes into tomorrow evening. You get a second round that sparks up for tomorrow evening also. So I will keep you updated. This is going to move around a little bit, showing a lot of potential big hail cores coming through. Look at this. Very strong hail cores potentially forming up as you go into tomorrow evening. So I will do another update for tomorrow. Other than that, just endure the heat, but it's not going to be all that bad. There's going to be some hot temperatures, there's going to be some storms, but nothing super crazy. I see a lot of people commenting, and they're so worried about every little thunderstorm that comes over them. They're worried it's going to be a tornado or some kind of extreme damage. My recommendation is take a break from live streams because it got you so worried that you're too afraid to even go outside amongst a regular thunderstorm passing through. This has been happening for a long time before we even had live streams, and no one really paid attention to it. Now, the more you pay attention to it, the more your anxiety is high, and more you're just full of fear, and you're too worried to go outside. Be merry, have a good life, enjoy the weather. It's not the end of the world coming every single day. Some wise words. Proverbs 17:22 through 24. A merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones. A wicked man taketh a gift out of the bosom to pervert the ways of judgment. Wisdom is before him that hath understanding, but the eyes of a fool are in the ends of the earth. Amen. Don't take everything so serious, like all these storms are just so terrible and so bad, because they're not. A lot of this is a lot of maybes, and most of the time, a lot of nothing comes out of these storms. So just be prepared for them the best way you can. Don't be all so worried about them so much. They will pass through. Not everyone is going to be without a home and just in dire need so bad just because these thunderstorms are passing by. Hope you all have a great day today. Make sure you prepare for the heat. That's not a joke. Check on your neighbors. Check on your pets. And remember, all glory always goes to God, our Father in heaven, Yahweh. And I always hope He keeps you safe. every single day of your life and forever. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Have a great day, everybody.